Hey, Fort Worth, this is Steve with Empire Industries. And today I want to talk about is why can't my tenant just pay their rent? Look, we all know that sometimes being a landlord, you are going to be faced with the fact that you're going to have a tenant that just doesn't pay their rent. And it could be voluntary, could be involuntary. It could be the fact that maybe they lost their job or maybe they got divorced or maybe they have some other challenge. Maybe they're downsized or maybe they got arrested or something, right? Things happen, life happens. And this is something that as an investor and as an investor myself, I know that that's just kind of part of the sandbox that we play in as investors. That's a risk that we run. We always want higher returns on our rental properties than we may get on the stock market. And exchange for that is because the risk is higher, right? You could have a vacancy. First thing I would say is make sure that if you are adverse to having a property that's vacant, maybe set up a cushion so that if the property is vacant, you've got some revenue coming in or some money set aside so that you're not stressing if it should be vacant. Maybe it's 2 months, maybe it's 3 months, maybe it's 6 months of a cushion so that you feel more comfortable so that you're not putting yourself in a bad position, not only financially, but sometimes mentally. I know that as a landlord myself, it can be a mental strain when a tenant doesn't pay their rent. And it can be a very, very stressful time when you're not only not getting your rent money, now you've got to pay for a make ready, you've got the vacancy, and then you've got to release your property, right? So there's a lot of factors that come in, and we always go to the worst case scenario in our heads of how long is this going to be vacant for? What if it doesn't get rented? How much money am I going to lose? If you have that cushion and you pre-plan it, then sometimes it's not as bad. Now, some of the things you want to do, I recommend, is you want to pre-plan what you're doing when you're putting the tenant in. And what I mean by that is, for example, here at Empire, we have a 1% eviction rate. Now, what that means is we are very, very good at trying to pick the right tenant. However, it is 1%. There's going to be people that are on that other side of that 1%, and that's just statistics. But what we do is we try our best to mitigate as much as possible. We have a 20-point tenant selection process. We put our tenants through a very, very strict tenant screening process to make sure that if we are putting them in the property, we know pretty well that they're going to be a good tenant, that they're going to last, and they're going to be happy. We want to make sure that we have processes, procedures, and systems in place to ensure that we will not only put a tenant in, but we put a tenant in that pays and a tenant in that stays. So these are the things that we want to do to make sure that your property, when there's a tenant in there, that we take away all the potential chances of that to happen. We want to make sure that, again, not only do you want to have a rental property, but you want to buy more properties. My opinion as a landlord is you're not going to get wealthy with one property, right? And you want to think about doing it in multiples. And if you're having trouble getting over the fear factor of just one tenant not paying, that's not the right way to look at it. And you may just be looking at it wrong. And our job as a property management company is to be a partner and to make sure that we help you look at this from a different perspective. We want to make sure that when you're looking at this, that you know, okay, this makes sense. I should do this. I shouldn't do this. And these are just the things that we do to ensure that you have the right tenant in there, the right mindset, and you have those conversations with us. We do a once a year one-on-one portfolio strategy analysis with all of our clients. We want to make sure that your properties are performing the way they should be performing and that you have the right expectations. If you buy a property and you're thinking it should be renting for $2,000, but it really only rents for $1,200, your numbers are not going to look right, and maybe you're going to feel upset, maybe depressed, unsure, but it's maybe not having the right expectations going in. So we always like to make sure we have these conversations with our owners to make sure that your property is performing correctly, because investing is not a singular sport. It's a team sport. It's a team effort. We want to make sure that we're here for you, and we want to make sure that we are helping you be the most successful investor you can be. And that's why we don't look at you as a client. We look at you as a partner. We want to help you. We want to have those smart conversations with you. We want you to feel comfortable calling us up and saying, hey, Steve, what do you think? Should I buy this property? Should I not buy this property? First thing I'm going to ask you is, well, it depends. What's your goals, right? What are you doing? Why does this make sense? Why does this not make sense? I'm going to do my best to poke holes in your theories, whether it's a good deal or bad deal. I just want to make sure that you're sure of it. Because if you get to the point where down the road your tenant is not paying, you still feel comfortable with the fact. You feel okay with the fact that your tenant is not paying and you're good with that. And not say good with it, but you accept it and you understand what it is. And you have some set parameters pre-set up so that you're not in a stressful situation. So again, if you'd like to talk to us here at Empire, we'd love to sit down. We'd love to do a strategy session with you. Let's just see what's going on with your portfolio. If you're new and you haven't bought anything yet, that's a perfect time to talk to us. Let us know how we can help you become more successful in the real estate business, either from what you're doing or from the beginning, and we can help you fill the right positions on your team with the right people so that you're moving synergistically all together. So again, we are here in the Fort Worth area. We're definitely the property management company that you want to talk to. Give us a call. We'll be glad to talk to you. Bye-bye.